Hello and welcome everybody to the 12th episode of the Swin Popcast. This week we are going to be talking mostly about tabletop role-playing games and Dungeons and Dragons in particular. Hello, I am Joel, the treasurer of the Pop Culture Club, and I am a veteran dungeon master. I've been a long-time player of all things tabletop. I started maybe 4.5 years ago, haven't looked back since. With me here today, I've got, to my left is Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben. I've been on multiple podcasts before, you probably know my name. I know so little about Dungeons and Dragons, it's not even funny, but I hopefully know enough to get through this episode, so we'll see.
And next we have a returning face, Becky.
Hi, I've played D&D a few times, and I've completed one campaign.
And then our fourth member today is Emerald.
Hi, I'm back again from last week. I play D&D regularly with Joel, actually, playing together for, oh my goodness, just over a year now. So I'm not a veteran yet, but I'm pretty experienced. So
I mean, in comparison to me, pretty much everyone here is a veteran.
We're here to corrupt you.
This is literally the first time I'm talking at length about D&D, so I'm afraid, but excited.
I mean, D&D is, well, not just D&D, tabletop role-playing games in general is an incredibly broad and expansive topic. Sure, D&D is probably the most popular, in particular 5th edition. There's a whole history behind that as well. But there's a lot of other tabletop games that I personally haven't had much opportunity to try, but they're a lot of fun. There's Call of Cthulhu, which is run away from the things that make you go mad. So much fun. There's Fate, which I haven't tried that one yet, but everything I've heard about it from my friends, they just rave on and on and on about it. It's a heavily roleplay focused alternative to D&D. Well, actually, I think these things are all alternatives to each other. There's an entire library specifically for Warhammer,
which is insane.
I don't even know how they have the time to write that much stuff. Guys, what are you doing?
Warhammer's kind of mad. I remember kids playing it in high school, and there was already so much lore, even in primary school. Jesus, you used to have friends who go to Games Workshop or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that's the big business.
You would see all the things and it'd be like, ooh, I want to buy a little character, and it was $50, and oh no, I am a child and have no income.
As a side note to that, I have recently been getting into Warhammer myself with the tabletop wargame version as opposed to the role-playing games on Tabletop Simulator. There's a very large community that plays online using that specific game. And there's this giant community-driven modding community who take 3D photo scans and build terrain pieces and everything for everybody to access. It's really, really awesome.
Can you, Joel, tell everyone what Tabletop Simulator is for those who don't know?
Yeah, Tabletop Simulator is a simulator that you can buy on Steam for about $20. I think it's $10 if it's on special, that you can play Monopoly, chess, Pi Show, Warhammer, literally anything and everything.
Basically every tabletop game ever.
Yeah, if you don't have a table, or if you're not near a table, Tabletop Simulator. Yeah. We're not sponsored. We're not, but...
I wish we were.
And in COVID times, it's been a way to play tabletop games without killing each other.
Hey, Ben, so
oh
as a relative beginner to this whole topic, from an outsider's point of view, what do you think D&D is?
Well, I'm not a total novice. I do exaggerate a bit. I've watched what is it called? It's produced by College Humor and Dropout.
Dimension 20.
Yeah, Dimension 20, which is really good. It's like a D&D kind of custom game that they have that's set in the future. So I kind of know the basics, but nothing really along the lines of what D&D is traditionally.
Well, so I think one of the fun things about D&D is there's not really any traditional way to play it. It's entirely up to you and the friends that you sit down at the table with what sort of game you want to run, what sort of game you want to play, what sort of characters you bring to the table, and what sort of fun you have with everyone. I think that's part of the charm of role-playing games, in that they're so open to interpretation that you can do almost anything you want.
Yeah.
Within reason. But even
Within the limits of your limited imagination.
Okay, that's a good limit.
how far do you want to push your morals, or is a question
Actually, I
sometimes.
think how far do you want to push the DM's morals?
Yeah, don't insult the DM and bring offerings.
Oh no.
And for everyone, like, I feel like I need to call this out, even though it's such an obvious thing. For everyone who's listening who doesn't know what a DM is, Joel.
A DM is the term specifically used by Dungeons and Dragons for the person who runs the game. The DM stands for Dungeon Master. There are plenty of other games that use different titles that all mean similar things. Like there's the Game Master, or the Storyteller, or the Game Runner, or the Showrunner, or whatever else. They all mean the same thing. They're the person who puts so much of their time and effort into building a world for everyone to play in and for people to react to and just have fun with.
So they like kind of lead the story, right?
Essentially, yeah. So to give a small example of what the DM does, they describe the world that, like, they describe the people in the world, they describe the events and the happenings and what that chair over there is made of, and then the players play in that world. They say to the DM, I would like to do this, and then depending on the system, there's usually going to be some form of dice involved. You roll that dice, depending on how well you do. You might succeed, you might fail, you might almost succeed, but something goes wrong. It's just incredibly open to interpretation. There's so much fun to be had and explored.
I think that's one of the coolest things about tabletop role-playing games is that it's entirely driven by people's minds and imaginations. It's not limited by, like, the mechanics of a video game or whatever. It's, like, very broad and open.
Well, you say that, but there is like there are some limitations in terms of like you've got guidebooks on how you're supposed to build your character and how they level up and the amount of things you can do in a certain turn. So while it is like your imagination is your limit sort of thing, there are limitations to make the game not just I become a god and I win all of the fights.
Yeah.
Well, I think, like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, back in primary school, I always used to play the games of make-believes with my friend where I was just like, I point at you with my laser finger, ha, you're dead. And then the friend was like, actually, I have this magic eye beam force field that stops your laser.
I have a laser-proof force field.
And like having this set rules and guidelines to play within, like, it puts everybody on the same playing field, so everybody knows what everyone else is doing and is capable of doing. So you can sort of share your ideas and imagination easier that way, I think.
Yeah, I feel like they've got a good like middle ground with D&D. Like having rules that don't really limit what you can do, as like it doesn't limit your freedom, I guess.
And also the rules they're subjective. Like if the DM or the players agree, like, actually this rule's stupid, you can just ignore it. You don't have to follow the rules exactly. It's not going to be any consequence to your game or your character. But yeah, it's one of those lovely things.
But then that also puts more strain on the DM having to actually come up with balanced rules. But some people love that. Like that's one of their favorite bits, right?
Well, yeah. So another thing I love about D&D is it's so broad. Like you might have groups that are heavily focused on the rules of the combat, and they spend, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 hours a week just having their characters fight through a dungeon full of goblins and zombies. And then you might have other groups who spend the same amount of time just chatting with NPCs and each other about, like, their favorite fictional song in this fictional world that they're all playing. Like, there's so many different things you can do. It's just it's honestly just wonderful. But then in a similar vein to, like, the limitations of D&D specifically, with the rule sets, there's also so many other options for role-playing games, like Fate, which I believe I mentioned a little while ago. That system is the rules of that system are almost entirely narratively focused. So there's not really any, I have a +3 to attack this particular monster because I'm a ranger or whatever. And I might be getting this wrong because I haven't actually played Fate. I'd love to, though.
All the Fate players listening are just going to be screaming right now. Like, no, you fool.
It's more like, because my character has this particular flaw, I must run away from this sort of thing.
So it really opens up the floor to like being the character as you are. Like at D&D, you can play as your character extremely well, or not so much depending on who you are. But
It depends on how into the role.
yeah,
you
the
get, I think.
context as well is really important sometimes.
That's something that like heaps of people rave about, like being able to escape and become like a different person essentially.
Yeah, so like
these games.
it's kind of like a form of escapism for some people. Like it's always fun, no matter what you're doing. But it's also like being able to act as somebody else and do things that are impossible in this real world that we live in. It's like it's just fun and free.
It's the same draw that video games have, right? Like you're just being able to, for a moment, do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. It's really neat.
Yeah, I think also it's D&D and like other tabletop games are really great for socializing as well. Even though you're playing as a character, even if it's online, you're still talking with other people. And especially over like the lockdowns and everything that we've had, I'm really glad I started playing D&D with the guys that I met, because honestly, if I didn't have that, I think I probably would have gone more insane than I already am. Like that sort of social interaction that you gain from it is really, I don't know, it's just so important. And sometimes you miss that with video games and all of that, because it's just the predisposed characters that are there. Whereas like a person, you don't know what they're going to do.
It's like it's way more involved in a lot of ways, like mentally, than video games. Well, I say that, but like, maybe
Depends.
creatively
Yeah.
is what I mean.
I mean, there are plenty of video games like, say, Minecraft, for example, that have so much creative freedom, but it's just not in the same way that role-playing games have. Like, tabletop, I should specify, because there are video game role-playing games.
Yes.
And like in Minecraft, you're free to build whatever you want within that blocky limits. But in D&D, you're free to do anything that your character can do.
Yeah, you're not limited by like what the developers of the game thought you might want to do. It's at least outside of combat, you are completely like able to just do anything with your character that the DM allows.
It's like you're also creating your own narrative.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
the
definitely.
story
Collaborative
aspect.
storytelling.
Yeah, that's actually, personally, that's because I've not really had much experience with D&D. That is like my favorite part, just from exposure, like the listening to someone else's narrative. Like even though I'm not involved, like watching Dimension 20 and like being immersed in their story. It's basically like watching a TV show.
Or reading a really good book.
Yeah, but it's all
Yeah.
like improvised, and like they've got a great cast of actors. Like that's something that we should also talk about. Like
Yeah.
Dimension 20,
Critical Role
Critical
is
Role.
the big one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Critical
yeah,
Role is
yeah.
like it's amazing, but it's a monopoly at the moment in
Yeah.
terms of like D&D content.
Yeah, so Critical Role in particular, I think, has had a massive impact on like the outreach of tabletop role playing games throughout like the entire community. Community in this sense being like people who might not have otherwise heard of it, or who've only heard of it as like, oh, it's this demonic game that's about summoning devils and demons.
Or it's
Well-
this
You're
thing
going to
that,
go to hell if you play it.
or it's this thing that nerds do. Sweaty
Fucking
nerds in their
nerds
basement.
It is a-
D&D. Got a packet of dice.
I'd just like to point out that some of the some people who play are the like stereotypically they'd be the most jock sort of person
yeah.
you could imagine, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
also really, really, really nice people, and they play D&D, so that makes them like infinitely superior.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like even though if you don't identify yourself as a nerd, if you play D&D, you're a nerd. But it's
There's
not a
no
bad
escaping
thing.
it.
It's just a
You
Opposite.
can't
thing.
play D&D and not be a nerd. It's like it's a mutually exclusive situation.
It's just a fun little addition to your personality, you know?
And
but
Like-
also you're a fucking nerd.
Everyone can play
Ben, you're a
D&D.
nerd, we know.
Everyone can play D&D, and anyone who plays D&D is a nerd. Therefore, everyone is a nerd.
Exactly.
Shit, you're right.
We've made a revelation.
Mind blown.
Mind
Everybody
blown.
is a nerd.
Whoa.
It's not really like new information being in the pop culture club. Like we found, we
Oh.
know this.
Ben, you don't have to call us out like that.
Wow. But yeah, so as we were saying, Critical Role in particular, I think they've been running a couple days over 7 years now.
Yeah, 7 years was their anniversary, I think, the other day.
Yeah, so
Very
for
fun.
those who don't know, Critical Role is a group of voice actors who have been playing Dungeons and Dragons as part of a home game for probably well over a decade at this point. And 7 years ago and a couple days, they got convinced to start a Twitch stream, or maybe it wasn't on Twitch.
No. It was on Geeks and Foundry, I think it was.
Geek and Sundry.
Sundry, yep.
It's under-
They got convinced to stream their home game. So their home game, it was met with a lot of success. I believe they are now the highest earning Twitch stream just from donations. I think last year they got something like 10 million.
Yeah, it's insane.
Holy.
They do
Yeah.
a
That's
lot.
big money.
Yeah, and then that's not even considering their merchandise and all the rest of the income that they earn from like YouTube ad revenue and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're huge.
But also, like, just because they're huge, like, they do have a massive, like, they're a company. They've got 8 main actors, 8 or 7,
Players.
the players and Matt Mercer, the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they've also got a massive crew behind them, like all of the people who run the background processes that are needed to
Yeah.
run a massive stream like that. So they do earn, I think, an equivalent amount to what they need. But they've also got a massive charity that they support as well, the Critical Role Foundation,
Pog.
which
God damn it.
We got a pog in
God
here.
damn it. Was that a
Look.
pog, Becky?
I have, at this point, I do say Pog in real life, unironically.
No.
Don't at me.
The Twitch has
I'm
infected you.
adding you so hard. Don't even try to say don't at me.
Damn
I
it.
will go to the SPCC Discord when this is finished, and I will at you so much.
Oh,
Can't-
no.
I can't believe this.
You're going to have
You
like
can
50
believe.
notifications.
I can.
Yeah, yeah. Also, guys, you should totally check out the SPCC Discord.
Uh-oh, plug time.
plug.
Oh,
We'll do the proper plug at the end. Yeah, and I personally, I only heard of Critical Role quite late, I think, compared to when it became popular. Like, I started listening to it halfway through last year or so. As just like I'd put like one earbud in, and I'd listen to the podcast when I took my dog for a walk in like the hour and a half we were allowed in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
yeah. I started listening to Critical Role in 2020, and before all these lockdowns happened, I used to listen to it when I was on the train, train to uni and back, because it's like the episodes are like 3 hours long, sometimes even 5.
Aren't they more like
Yeah.
4-ish?
There have been some 5-hour episodes.
Yeah. They're long.
That's
Yeah.
big.
But I managed to binge quite a lot over the lockdowns and summer break, so I'm not caught up, but I'm getting there.
That's
Damn.
impressive.
Yeah,
That is
they-
impressive.
Well, they released like a 4-hour long episode every week.
Yep.
It's
Oh
crazy.
my god.
And also they started their new campaign too. There's now 3 campaigns that they've got, 2 that have done, and then 3 is in current production,
Yeah.
play.
It
Same
makes
thing.
sense that they're making bank then. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
that's a
and-
big effort.
They release new
Absolutely.
merch regularly. It's insane how much they've grown, but
Yeah.
they're a good team.
But
Yeah.
the other insane thing about them is what they've done for the community, I think, in that they've popularized D&D to so many people who would never have touched it otherwise. Yeah, so like you see them being so successful, and they just look like normal people, like normal grown-ups who are having fun playing this game with their friends, and you get to watch the story unfold, their characters develop so far, and there's just so much good stuff for people to learn from and see. This game could be so much fun. I'd love to grab the starter set and try it out with my friends, and then from there you go down the rabbit hole from which you may never return. Like, Ben, you said that pretty much all of your knowledge comes from watching Dimension 20 and that sort of thing. Like, and Emerald and I, we've obviously consumed a lot of Critical Role content. I'm not sure about you, Becky, but
I have watched a bit of. I've kind of watched little bits and bobs there of different D&D streams on YouTube. Particularly, I've watched a bit of if I can remember what it's called, one that the Yogscast does.
Lewis is the Dungeon Master, I think.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's like old stuff, but it's
I haven't looked at the Yogscast in years.
But yes, like you said, I have listened to like a bunch of the D20 stuff, but also they have a video aspect. So it's not like just a podcast, which I find really rad because they have like a whole setup with like figures and a set like that they get made by artists. So they've got a whole arena for when they do battles and stuff that's custom made for the fight that they're doing. It's very rad to watch as well as listen to.
Yeah, it's actually quite fun when watching like Dimension 20 or Critical Role, seeing that they have like a whole set and everything. Because it's nice to see that because obviously you know they're professional. They're putting on a show as well as just having a good old time. But in terms of like just playing normal D&D with your friends. Sometimes
we do not have the
production quality.
Yeah, sometimes you just have what you have. So like, if you don't have minis, you can use Lego things. I remember one time when I was playing, my character, her mini was a Lego German Shepherd. And that was fine. So it's like, because it's so imagination driven, the stuff that you have on the table in front of you, aside from like when it comes to combat, doesn't really matter so much because you're just, you picture it and you're talking to each other across the table anyway. So like the productions that you see online and everything like that, they're just like an extension of what they can do with like their money and really diving into the world that they have, which is fun. It's a good little thing to like escape from further if you don't play or you don't have time to play.
Yeah, and one of the other really great things about like just tabletop communities in general is like the amount of resources that people put out for others to use. One of my groups, the DM absolutely loves just collecting all sorts of D&D like minis and dice and maps and all the paraphernalia. And whenever he brings something new to the table, everyone just collectively loses their shit over how cool the new thing is. But then like another group, we almost exclusively play online because half of us live way out of Melbourne. And we use this particular virtual tabletop called Foundry, which is an incredibly powerful tool for like maps and tokens and lighting. And it's the DM's also incredibly good at using Photoshop and everything. So he's capable of just using art to tell a story as well as the words and the imagination and everything else. And there's just so much that you can add to it to like just increase the experience.
So what I'm hearing is be friends with lots of artists and people who have
Yeah.
like
100%.
3D printers and laser
guys.
cutters.
Be friends with many
As the
talented
artist.
and rich people.
Yeah.
Like as the artist in like the campaign I'm in, get yourself an artist to play in a D&D campaign because you know what
Free
you
art.
get? Yeah, free character art.
True, like getting them to design your characters.
Exactly.
That'd be rad. So Emerald, what are you doing later?
Look, I mean, I am happy to take on drawing character art when I have the time.
Hell
So
Also, your commissions are open still, aren't they?
Ooh, a
yeah.
cheeky plug for Em's
Fuck.
commissions.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Don't put me on the spot like this. They are open. I am slumped with uni work, but I can do a plug at the end with my account. If anyone wants art, I do drawing stuff.
But yeah, so normally when we get about halfway through the podcast, we have a little game that we do. In previous episodes, they've usually been quizzes or, well, last time it was this sound-based quiz, but I figured, given the topic, it might be a little bit of fun to do a mini D&D session.
Whoa.
Woohoo!
Oh, this is the first I'm hearing about
I
this.
had no idea this was going to happen.
yeah.
Oh my
so,
god.
that totally explains why you guys all have level 3 character sheets right in front of you,
Whoa.
right? For our little game, I'm going to be the dungeon master. I have my dungeon master screen right in front of me to hide all of my dice from everyone else. And I've got my notes and everything ready. And I think we're going to go around the table. Emerald, could you please describe your character for the viewers?
Okay. Rightio. So my character is a very, very tall 6'6" dragonborn named Lumen. He is white and blue, very pale. He's got wonderful white hair that's just flows down and is like got 2 twin braids. He's a sorcerer, so he doesn't really have many weapons on him. And generally speaking, he's a happy kind of guy. So come up and say hi.
All right. Becky, who are you going to be playing today?
I'm going to be playing Grier. She is a mountain dwarf barbarian. She loves to drink and fight.
Classic.
Those are her loves in life.
Classic. And Ben, who have you brought to the table?
I'm gonna be playing Callisto, and I am a half-elf ranger. And I feel like, should I do it? I'm gonna do it. Should I do a voice for this
You
entire thing?
100%.
I'm gonna. Don't worry.
Not playing this out
One
at
of
all.
the great things about D&D is you can either use a voice, or you don't have to use a voice, or you could do both, or you could use all the voices for your character.
I've picked chaotic neutral, so maybe my accent can change as we go because that's part of my character.
Our intrepid band of adventurers, the Dragonborn Sorcerer, the Dwarf Barbarian, and the Half-Elf Ranger, have walked in to the Stumble Inn.
We didn't stumble in.
No, you just walked into it this time. At the end of an exhausting adventure clearing out a goblin camp. Today, however, you've come in for your shift at work. One of the things that adventurers have to deal with is there's oftentimes downtime between a quest, completing the quest, and finding the next one. And in this case, you haven't got any work currently, so you figured you might want to take up a couple shifts at the Stumble Inn here and there. When you were heading off to bed last night, you spoke to the innkeeper, Brad Barrelchest, and he offered a 5 gold coin for a night's work, keeping the bar stocked, the tavern. What's the word? Patrons well fed and drunk, and not too rowdy. And also, he did ask you to clear out his cellars. So, you've walked into the Stumble Inn. It is late in the afternoon. What would you like to do?
All right. Well, I wonder if this is going to be a rowdy shift or a quiet shift. Hey, Callisto. I'm going to remember character names today. Do you remember what Brad told us? Did we have to?
I don't remember anything that has happened in the past 24 hours.
Wonderful.
I can't either because I'm drunk.
I was blackout drunk, and I think I made love to 7 goblins that I took home from last night's rumble.
I love the voice.
Oh, God.
You hear in the background a squawk of some goblins running away from the tavern.
Call me.
Well, whatever people are into, I don't judge. Is Brad around?
Yeah. So as you walk through the Stumble Inn, it is what you'd expect of a well-to-do tavern in the local area. It's got a roaring fireplace in the corner. There's a small stage where a bard performs. There's a long tavern, long tavern. What am I on about?
A long tavern.
Very long.
It is a very long tavern.
Tables are just so long. Like
Oh yeah, it's
500 meters long.
It's like a Viking meat hall. No, what I was going to say is there's a long bar, and behind the bar is a giant of a man. You would recognize him as a Goliath, which is a sort of half human, half giant descent. He's perhaps 2.5 meters tall, completely bald, with grey-white sort of skin, a clean-shaven face, and a giant barrel chest. This is Brad Barrelchest, the man who said he would give you a job tonight.
Hello, Brad.
Bradley,
Hey, Brad.
it's been years.
Just Brad, please. And it's been like 12 hours.
Really, it feels like a millennia. How do you do?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, gorgeous.
I expected you here half an hour ago.
Your chest, Bradley.
Apologies for my
Bradley, your
companions.
chest. I would love to.
Hey, what you saying?
Look, you guys took a long time to get ready.
Guys?
I said companions. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Anywho, Brad, which way to the cellar? Did you say that we had to, what was it, clear it out?
Yes. Well, I've been having some problems with something stealing my cheese.
Your cheese.
My
Cheese.
Big old cheese wheels, half taken away.
I'm sorry, Bradley. That may have been me. I've taken up a liking to charcuterie in the past few days, but I must say I've noticed a fair amount going missing myself.
I don't think I've seen you before yesterday, so how drunk did you get last night?
Yes.
I see. Very well. No drinking while on the job, please and thanks. Anyway, the door is down that way, and he points to the far end. There's a small door behind the bar, and there's a little and he passes you a key. Get me 10 kegs of ale and clear out whatever it is that's taking my cheese.
10 kegs of ale and the cheese teeth. All right.
Can do.
Okay, guys, let's go. I'll open the door and try not to hit my head on the door frame, because I'm assuming this is not very tall. Maybe it is.
I definitely don't hit my head on the door
It's small
frame.
for Brad, but Brad's like an extra half meter tall than you.
Yeah, good old Lumen's 6'6". He's a tall boy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, tall dragonborn. Like literally had walking 2-legged bipedal dragon, not dragon.
My character's like 3.5 feet tall. He's small.
So shall we continue? So you make your way behind the bar, and you see someone that you hadn't noticed before. There is a small gnomish lady who's currently like hefting a giant barrel of mead that's like twice her size, trying to get it under the bar so it can be put on tap.
Oh, hello there.
Need some out there?
Yeah, you look like you're struggling a bit.
Well, little help.
I'm gonna try and help this one. Hopefully.
Yes. So the giant dragonborn just easily picks up this barrel of mead twice the size of this small gnomish lady.
I like to think the gnome keeps holding on against.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like the barrel's just like a meter off the ground, and she's just hanging her legs are dangling.
You can let go, you know. You don't have to hold on.
No, okay. And she lets go and drops to the ground. And she just says, "Can you just put it over there, please? Thank you."
Sure thing. Oh, I didn't actually do a thumbs up then, but
Yeah, cameras, guys. We don't have those. Yeah. So, Lumen puts the barrel where the gnomish bartender has asked. She's like, thank you, laddie. My name's Belba Brightfoot.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, Belba.
Are you the temporary waitstaff that Brad hired tonight?
Aye, we are actually.
So you're here to deal with the cheese thieves as well, then?
Yeah.
Gotta kill him.
Well, maybe we won't have to kill them, but
I'll kill him.
if you want.
I suppose if that's one way to deal with them, maybe.
Do you know what they could possibly be? Like just rats?
Well, we used to have a bit of a rat problem, but then the cats ate them all. Then the cat disappeared.
Maybe the cat's still in the cheese.
I don't think so. That cat, what was she called? Hey, Brad, what was the cat called? Brad just like, he's in the middle of pouring like a giant tankard out. He's like, oh, that old thing? Miss Fluffykins.
Oh,
That's a good name.
She was an absolute beast from hell. I hated her. She kept the rats away, though.
well then it's not that bad.
Well, what else do you need her for?
Anyway, yes, doors there. Thank you very much for your help. Also, there's like a keg lift thing that Brad built for me. You might want to use that when you're getting the kegs of ale as well.
Is that a dumb waiter, you say? I've always wanted a dumb waiter in my home.
I'm not. Wait, I don't think you're moving in here, are you?
No, but I would like to take your dumb waiter.
It's kind of built into the tavern.
But
I
what
think
if...
it's part of the architecture.
What
Wait.
My Scottish, my terrible accent is flowing onto you.
That may be how it works.
Fine, keep your dumb waiter. I see what I did there, a little joke for you because
Very funny.
I'm practicing stand-up, you see.
I liked it.
How drunk are you?
Do
you want to roll me a constitution?
So the 20-sided.
That is a D20.
Oh no!
Fantastic.
Just a little technical difficulty on our end.
Yeah.
Nothing
Also known
is
as
broken.
clumsiness. Yes, so that'll be
Maybe I'm actually drunk. Who knows?
so
That's
will
not
be
water.
Vodka.
Yes, that'll be a D20 plus your Constitution save.
Oh,
That's a 17,
And then-
my constitution is +2.
For 17 plus 2 for a total of 19. You are not that drunk.
This is
You're
just
really
my,
putting on the act.
I'm just very much a lightweight. I'm.
Okay, then, well, good luck with the cheese thieves. Off you go. And she kind of waves you off to...
I start walking down.
I turn behind and watch her walk away.
Why are you just staring at me? She's just standing there at the bar because this is where she works.
What? No.
Bloody
Go
horn
on.
dog.
Shoo. Away.
Come on,
no, no.
Callistos, we got work to do.
You're
Come
supposed
on.
to follow your friends down the stairs.
Yes, my friends, and yes, of course.
Call him a friend.
Yes, so you make your way down the stairs, and there is, at the bottom, there's a very, very expansive cellar. There's rows and rows of, like, cured meats and berries and barrels of ale and mead and whatever else there may be down there. And in the far corner is the cheese larder. It's a couple of rows of shelves that once might have been completely full of many types of cheese. Now it's embarrassingly empty. There's perhaps a couple half-eaten blocks left. What would you like to do?
Do you think he'd be angry if I ate some of the meat? I'm pretty hungry.
Look, maybe one of like the small little tidbits of meat. I mean, no one's down here. I won't tell if you don't.
Are you making fun of me being small?
No, I meant the small, like so that's small, so he doesn't
Are you
notice.
saying I have to eat the small bits of meat? I go over, I grab the biggest piece of meat I can.
All right, you grab a piece of meat. It's like the hind leg of a boar that's it's just hanging off a rack that you can barely reach, and it's almost as large as your entire torso.
I take a big and then throw it back in where it was.
You just toss it back on the shelf, like without a care for how it was previously.
Do we want to just start packing the ale, or do we want to try and investigate this cheese thief? Cheese burglar.
I don't mind taking care of the ale if you want to go off somewhere and do something else. Maybe find the cheese. I can take all the care of all of the ale.
I don't trust him. I don't trust
By
him.
take care, I mean putting it on the dumb waiter and sending it up to the bar.
He does like the dumb waiter.
I do like the dumb waiter.
Don't put yourself on the dumb waiter, just the ale, and don't take a sip.
What if I was to go inside of the dumb waiter with the ale? This way I kill two birds with one stone and nobody sees me drink all the ale. I mean, go up to deliver the ale.
Look, actually, that's pretty smart. You get in the dumb waiter, then you don't have to go up the stairs.
No, but it's,
So you do see the dumbwaiter by the sides of the stairs, and in order to operate it, you need to pull a rope.
You could pull the rope wide while you're on the platform.
I am
Just stick
going-
your hands in.
I'm going
Wait.
to do something sneaky.
How
I'm
sneaky?
going to try and cast suggestion
Oh, okay.
on you. So I would like you
Oh my god.
to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my god.
Okay,
We're
Callisto.
already using spells on each other.
So a D20 plus your wisdom save.
Yep. I don't want you drunk on the job.
Oh no. Oh, that was a natural 2.
Not great. Cool.
Yes, so Emerald, you have successfully cast suggestion on Callisto.
So I'll explain to you how this is going to work.
What? Yes.
This lasts for 8 hours, and I will suggest to you something that you want to do, and you'll just think as like, this sounds like a good idea, and do it. You still have your thoughts and personality. You're not a complete zombie. Let me just double check the meaning of this one.
It's like you believe that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
like I can't ask you to stab yourself, for example, because that's not reasonable. So Callistos, that's your name, right?
Yes.
Look, I suggest maybe don't get in the dumbwaiter. Just don't. Just put the ale in and send it up to the bar, because that way Brad will be happy and we'll get our pay.
Oh.
You like money, right?
Nobody wants Brad to be unhappy.
No, absolutely not.
I think he'll rip your arms off if he's unhappy.
No, you
Well,
make a compelling
You
argument.
did in fact see a giant axe, like twice as tall as you, in your dwarf, like twice as tall as the dwarf, hanging over the edge, like hanging above the bar.
Maybe it's just for show. But I wouldn't risk it.
No, indeed. His chest is as big as a barrel and just as enticing.
I think that was a car.
What the fuck is a car?
Outside the pub, it's a car.
What's a car?
I think I'm having a stroke.
Oh no! Do we need to get them? Do we need to get a healer up here?
No, it's
Down
fine.
here? Up here?
It's fine, I'm used to it.
You've had too much to drink.
I've had a lot of strokes in my time.
Yes. So,
All right, so I start loading up the dumbwaiter with the barrels.
We'll come and get you if something happens. Yeah.
Yes.
I won't.
All right. If you don't want to help him, do you want to come look for the cheese monster?
I will.
If it's a monster.
I want to kill it.
all right. So, you investigate what remains of the cheese stocks. Would you like to roll an investigation check?
Yes.
Both of you. So it'll be a
D20?
D20. Yep. Plus your investigation modifier. So, what were your rolls?
7 and
15.
15. So, with a 7, you surmise that there is a distinct lack of cheese. With a 15, however, at Greer, you hear coming from one corner a little squeak, squeak,
What the
squeak,
fuck is that?
squeak, squeak.
What do you mean? What the fuck is that? I don't hear anything. There's
I
only
hear a
just
squeak
where.
with your stupid ears. You can't hear it.
Look, I got big ears, but my hearing ain't what it used to be.
Okay. My character now canonically has freaking,
Yep.
like,
You're
particularly big ears.
You're a small dwarf lady with giant ears.
They're not giant, they're just, like, bigger than usual.
Yes, so those sensitive ears point you in a corner where you hear the squeaks coming from. And as you approach, you see what could be like a mouse or a rat hole, but it's massive.
Whoa,
It's
this
like
is gonna be good
3
hunting.
or 4 times the size of any other rat hole you've ever seen.
How?
Can I fit inside?
No.
Okay,
Can
we're
I
gonna
crawl-
have to.
Can I fit inside if I'm crawling?
No. It's not quite that big.
No chance of a dragonborn like me getting through
No,
that.
absolutely none. You're not
Probably
even be
not.
able to get half your hand in there.
Hey, what was it? Callistos.
Yes.
Come over here for a second.
Yes, indeed.
And as Callisto or Callistos?
Callisto.
Callisto.
I'm
as
getting names
Callisto
wrong.
approaches, Greer, you hear the squeaks getting louder.
Oh,
louder.
it's coming.
Oh
And
lord.
louder, and there's
I pull out my, like, great
scrabble of claws on stone, and out of this small hole comes a horde of giant rats, and I'll get everybody to roll initiative.
Oh, fuck.
Crap.
So, out from the hole in the wall runs 7 giant rats. They're mangy and covered in matted fur, not at all like a normal rat would be, and they're squeaking and squealing, and they run around you. And did anyone get an initiative of above 20?
I got 20.
You got 20. Okay, cool. Callisto. Sweet. Did anyone get 15 to 20?
I got 19.
19 for Greer.
Greer.
Okay. And then, what did poor old Lumin get?
11. I'm not that old actually. I'm only 25.
25.
As I said, poor old Lumin. So, as you stand amongst the racks of what once were filled with cheese, Callisto, it is your turn. There are 7 giant rats nearby.
All right, so Callisto, despite being incredibly inebriated, works best when, like doctors, works very well when he's under the influence. So I spring into action.
Oh no.
And I draw, I suppose, my bow, because I'm still a ways away. I fire at the rat closest to the other 2.
Okay. Would you like to roll to hit?
Yes.
Yep, D20. Is that a...
That's a natural
That's
one.
a natural one, is it?
No.
Oh no.
Hey,
no.
So, unfortunately, a natural one, no matter what you do, always misses.
Yeah.
So, because you are a hunter with the Horde Breaker ability, when you make a weapon attack, you can make another attack with that weapon against something that's next to the creature you attacked. So you can make another attack, basically.
Right. Okay. So, Oh dear, I appear to be off my game this morning. Callisto does the exact same thing.
All right,
Fires at
roll to
the
hit.
rat next to the rat that I tried to hit.
16.
So that's 16.
All right, that's a 16 to hit. Okay, that hits. Would you like to roll your damage?
I would. So this is another 1.
Another one.
Plus
your dexterity.
plus dexterity is +2.
Okay, so that is 1 plus 2 for a total of 3 damage. So there is now an arrow sticking. There is now an arrow sticking out of one of these rats. It's looking rather enraged. Greer, it is your turn.
Oh. So I take my great axe and I just swing it at the group.
Okay, roll to hit. So what's the total?
8 plus 5.
8 plus 5 for a 13 to hit. That hits. Roll your damage.
13.
All right. So as Callisto shoots one arrow and misses, shoots another arrow and strikes one of them, you follow up that arrow strike and cleave that rat's head right off. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Got it. I want to say to the group, hey, I have a pet rat, and these are not normal rats. I can tell you that much.
A pet rat, you say?
I do. His name's Reginald.
Reginald the rat, and with that, it is the rat's turn.
Oh no.
There are 6 rats remaining. 4 of them are normal giant rats, and 2 of them are going to attack Greer, and 2 of them are going to attack Lumen.
Lovely.
Oh crap!
So let's roll to hit Greer with advantage because pack tactics. Does a 12 beat your AC?
Depends what nice. Oh my god, 14.
14. No, it does not. Here comes the second rat trying to bite you.
Oh crap!
Does a 14 beat your AC?
Mine's 14.
That means yes. If it meets it, it beats it. You
crap.
take 5 points of piercing damage.
Oh crap!
And then 2 of them are going to attack Lumen as well.
Wonderful.
Here
I
comes
love
the first
this.
attack. That is a 16.
Oh yeah, that's a hit.
All right. You take 4 points of piercing damage. And the second attack does an 11 hit.
Nope.
So the second like one rat bites at Greer and misses. Another one bites at Lumen and misses. But they've set you up to be right in the jaws of the next pair of rats. There are still 2 more rats, however, who haven't taken their turns. And these ones are looking particularly mangy and disgusting. They are diseased.
Disgusting.
We need to
and-
clean those up.
One of them's going to attack Lumen. Does a dirty 20 hit.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I say dirty 20 because if it's a natural 20, a straight 20 on the D20, it does extra cool stuff. Dirty means like it adds up to a total of 20.
So a
that
non-natural 20.
is, yes.
Yeah.
So that is a total of 6 points of piercing damage. And can I get you to please make me a Constitution save?
Oh boy. Okay. So total of 4.
That is a failure of the Constitution save. You are now diseased.
I love it.
Until you are cured, you cannot regain hit points except by magical means.
Oh my god.
And your hit point maximum decreases by 1d6 every 24 hours.
What?
Oh crap! Lumen.
Okay.
You got
And now one of these rats is going to attack Greer. Does a 10 hit?
nah.
Ah, damn. That's a shame. All right.
Get
and
wrecked.
that is the rats. That's the rats done. Lumen, it is your turn.
Bloody hell. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
bloody
going
hell.
to look at the diseased rat that gave me a big fucking bite. And I'm going to cast a witch bolt at it.
Witch bolt. All right.
Yes!
Roll to hit.
Which bowl?
I'm going to do it at second level.
Second level. Okay.
Good roll. Okay, so that's a 19 plus 5.
At 20 point. Yeah, that hits. Roll your
Hell
damage.
yeah. All right, let me get my 2d12. Gotta go for some fancy ones here. That is a total of 13.
You completely eliminate this rat from existence.
Vaporized.
Just
There's just a pile of ashes left over.
It's just a
after you
scorch mark on the
electrocute
ground.
it. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
let me see if I have any bonus actions. I don't think I do.
I don't have any spells because I'm just
You're
a
a barbarian.
barbarian.
Barbarians aren't allowed to cast spells.
I cast axe in face.
I would like to rage.
Yeah, all right.
All right, that's my turn.
Callisto, it is your turn.
All right. Since combat doesn't seem to be my strong suit today, I'm going to turn to diplomacy. So I'm going to cast Speak with Animals on myself.
So, you gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have perceived within the past day. You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at the GM's discretion. All right, you now have this ability for the next 10 minutes.
Okay, can I use my movement and attempt to ride one of the rats that is not diseased?
How big they are.
The rats are about up to your shin.
Okay.
They're like the size of like a small cat.
or a large cat.
I was imagining
ferret.
these rats a lot bigger than they were.
Oh, they're giant rats, but they're giant compared to a normal
Yeah,
rat.
relative to other rats. All right, so I'm not going to try to ride this rat.
Maybe you could have like rat skates.
Sit
like,
on
one
it and
each foot.
crush it.
Just absolutely destroy its back.
Can I instead attempt to pick up one of these non-diseased
You can
rats?
absolutely try to initiate a grapple. Would you like to roll athletics or acrobatics?
Yes, I will roll an acrobatics check.
All right.
17
Well, so you got a 17,
plus 4.
a 21. Okay, I got a 10. You successfully grabbed this rat.
Okay. Dear boy, oh dear, you appear to have made a terrible mistake. I'm currently talking to this rat.
Yes.
All right. Did you cast Speak with Animal? Yeah,
I
you
did.
Okay. Hey, let me go. Give me the cheese. I want a cheese.
My
Give me
friend,
cheese.
I make a solemn swear to you that if you and yours do not attack us anymore, I will provide to you all the cheese that you can imagine.
More cheese?
Yes, more, all of the cheese.
Would you like to roll a? If you're telling the truth, you can roll a persuasion check. If you're
100%.
lying, you can roll deception.
He absolutely intends to
Let me see what
keep good on his
better.
promise.
It's a man of his words.
I intend to make these rats
All right.
after hearing about my companion's pet rat. I've made a decision to befriend these rats in earnest.
All right, roll persuasion.
A 16 plus 1.
17. Okay. More cheese?
Yes,
More
my
cheese.
friend.
Boys, more cheese. No fight. And the rats back away and like stare at you hungrily.
Did he just talk
Oh.
to a rat? Did he?
Callistos, I think you may have fucked up.
Cheese. Now.
I run to the dumbwaiter.
Oh, you fucking idiot.
Boys, where's he going? Is he getting us cheese?
Come with me! I'm like the Pied Piper. I start running on all fours, like to try to act like a rat.
They run right behind you.
Oh my god.
Oh no. What on earth?
I say,
What the?
oh my god.
I have never seen anything more bizarre in my life.
I beckon to the rats to jump in the dumbwaiter. My friends, my boys, all of the cheese you could possibly imagine awaits you inside of this magical casket.
A dumbass in the
Casket.
waiter.
Okay, more cheese. And they all pile into the dumbwaiter.
I start pulling it up.
Yep, the dumbwaiter goes up with a bundle of rats.
Get it right now.
And as it reaches the top, there's a little ding. And Brad Barrelchest opens the lid, expecting to see a barrel of ale. But what does he see? Ah, rats! Belba, get me my axe!
Oh my god.
Oh crap.
What have you done?
Can we hear this from
Oh,
upstairs?
100%.
Okay, I like rush up the stairs.
What say we follow them?
So you all run up the stairs, and you see that Brad has just grabbed this giant axe off the wall and is running towards the rats.
Bradley, hold your attack.
What? Why? It's giant fucking rats!
I run over to the pantry and grab as much cheese as I physically can
Alright.
handle.
Sure, you grab like this giant armful of cheese. It's pretty much all that's left that the rats haven't taken yet.
Have you gone mad?
What the crap? We could have been killed by Brad. Oh my
I'm
god.
almost dead because of these rats. What are you doing trying to make friends and give them cheese?
If you give us the cheese, Brad is gonna fucking kill us.
I look at Bradley with like big puppy dog eyes. Bradley,
What are you doing with my cheese?
Bradley, if you have
Brad.
any feelings left in your heart for me from that one night we spent in the swamp, that one sweaty, disgusting night,
I like it.
you will let me give these disgusting rats all of this cheese.
Roll deception. You are lying out of your ass.
Yeah, I'm like, am I though?
Let's see what the dice say.
Oof, an 8.
Oh god.
And I don't know if I have any modifiers towards deception.
Oh
Oh
god.
no, Ben.
Oh. I'm already loving this character.
It's positively
Yeah,
mad.
no, nothing. It's
Nothing.
an 8.
Okay, so an 8 on the deception. I don't know what you're talking about. There was no night in the swamp. Now,
Then who?
who what?
Wow.
Wow.
No, I am minding. Now take the fucking cheese thieves out of my entire goddamn inn and be gone from this place.
All right, I still have the cheese, so I run out.
Yeah, so you just run out of the stumble inn with an armful of cheese. 5 rats following you. Just squeeze, cheese. You're the only one who can hear that. No one else can speak.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
was watching a
And
bunch of rats running out the room.
Korea and Lumen, you just see Brad's just staring at you with a axe in hand, just like, go on, get.
Oh,
Okay.
are we still
Sorry.
getting paid?
You got paid in cheese.
Oh, okay.
And friendship.
God damn it.
I'm going to kill him.
I will too.
If you come back here, I'll help you.
We'll bring him back.
No, and I'll kill you too. You did just steal a bunch of my cheese.
No, that wasn't me. That was
We can
him.
pay you back. We can pay you back.
We can pay you back.
Plus interest.
Okay, cool. Bye.
Not with our lives. All right, going.
And
You basically
I
run out.
think that's where we'll leave the session here.
Chaos.
Crap.
Yeah. So
Oh god, we're in debt to the.
you're in debt to the cheese mafia. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little expose of what D&D could be.
Sounds
And,
pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah, that's about the usual
Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Yeah, so thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find out all of the rest of our information on our Swin PCC link tree. The link is linktr.ee/SWINPCC. That's Linktree for Swin PCC. You can get access to our Discord, all of our social media, a list of upcoming events, and anything else that you might be interested in. And Emerald, I think you had something to plug.
Yes. Yes.
Art commissions, guys, they're great.
Yes, my you can find me on Instagram at hold on, I got that wrong. I'm good at this. It's space_fox_art, and that's on Instagram or Twitter. I'm on both. I'm more active on Instagram, so if you would like a commission, just shoot me a DM. I will respond with some prices, and we can go from there.
Yeah. The art's really cool, by the way. Yeah, all right.
And I like to plug github.com/Yarum. Available for hire now.
Nice. Coding. I don't know how any of that works. Thank you so much for listening, everyone, to the 12th episode of the Swin Popcast. This was Tabletop Role-Playing Games and Dungeons & Dragons. See ya.
Bye.